How's everybody doing? Yes, I know. I was not going to let Monday go by. Not going to allow Monday to go by and not finish the book of Ezekiel. I know I missed the second Sunday, but you know what? If it's not Sunday, it'll be Monday. It does take a lot of research. I just don't do the. No, it's one thing when I get a download. It's like they tell me exactly what it is, what to say. It's crazy. That's so crazy. But when I don't get the download and I have to, and they want me to actually decode it using the ego, and my five senses and logic without tapping to the spirit, then it's almost like they're training me to use both faculties. So then I sit down and then I do the research and break it down. And then I also consult other clergy members too. I do not just be by myself. I do draw my own conclusions and give my own opinion, at the end of the day. But I want to make sure that it is completely balanced in every angle, that I cover every basis of a body of literature when I'm breaking it down and its component parts, either to the actual language structure, then what's being said, if it's didactical or allegorical, and then that's one category. Then the second category is to understand the political atmosphere and religious atmosphere of the time period in which the book was written. What was going on? Who was in power? No. In those days, don't forget, there was no separation between church and state. They were one. That's why no one felt safe when the church persecuted people, nations. It was the government at the same time. It was very much in bed with the ruling monarch, which was the form of government that existed at the time. No. So, and then which side of the perspective was it written for, and who wrote it? Was it the church or was it the crusaders? Or the common folks? Well, people didn't read and write in those days, so it had to have been the scholars and the Pharisees and theologians, right? And if they wrote it, how many hands did it go through before it got twisted and distorted and ended up being something else completely different? And then from there, now you have the church and the Pharisees of the church or the scribes that take it and break it down even further than all the watered down versions of the same truth. So, and then the church has its final say and decides what is to be allowed and what is not to be allowed. So that's another grouping of faction of research that you have to keep in mind when you are interpreting a body of literature or sacred text. And then there is the structure in which the book is written. Because, the church doesn't tell you, and not even the ministers, pastors, they don't tell you that just because, let's say the book of Judges, First Judges, or the book of First Kings, it's telling you a story about a particular rulership and war and fighting and the political powers that book is making reference to, whether it's the Assyrians or the Philistines or the Phoenicians